That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And tonight we're here to talk about The Lion King, their new CGI remake directed by Jon Favreau.
And we should start by letting all the Beyhive members know to skip this video because they might not like what we have to say about Beyonce. Perhaps, I don't know. So I don't feel like we need to explain the plot of the story because everyone knows what The Lion King's about. I don't recall ever watching the cartoon, so I wasn't familiar with the story really at all. Some of the songs were familiar to me.
I haven't seen it since I was, a child, but beat per beat, it's very similar, except it's kind of like if National Geographic made musicals.
Yeah, it wasn't as magical as I thought it would be based on the Disney films I have seen, which are not all of them. But I guess my main reference was Beauty and the Beast because we did see the
remake.
Yeah, and I know that, they're two entirely different stories, but this one just felt very... for someone who really didn't know the story, it just felt kind of basic.
Well, it's Hamlet, kind of.
Okay.
It's not a revolutionary story by any means, but yeah, as a jaded older person, yeah, it doesn't seem very magical. There's a lot of cheering.
Yes, the audience was
eating it up.
I'm assuming, there's a lot of nostalgia involved.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so for that reason, I think it's a great choice. It's very, very well done.
It looks great.
It looks amazing. Yeah. I haven't seen the new Jungle Book.
Yeah, you did. I think
I did.
You just kind of zoned in and out.
Oh, well.
that Jon Favreau also directed.
Okay, but I think the CGI in this film is the best I've ever seen. Like, it really did look real. There were many moments when I was certain I was looking at, like, a real live action shot.
There were a couple uncanny valley moments. I think maybe with, like, the cub, like, the eyes looked a little...
Yes, I do think Simba in particular, there were moments when... And even, like, little Nala, where they looked a little cartoonish, but...
not bad.
No, this movie is very well done. It looks amazing. But that would probably be... So my biggest issue with the film is it looks so real that it's very distracting to have them have voices and comedic voices at that. So in particular, Timon and Pumbaa, while I think Seth Rogen is so funny and did a great job with his voice acting, it was a little distracting. And it took me out of the story and the seriousness and the drama of it. These sort of intermittent comedic breaks.
Beyonce's voice as the adult Nala also took me out of it because she has a very recognizable,
flat voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, she's an amazing entertainer and a beautiful singer, and, Homecoming live album is on repeat in my car, but her speaking voice is very dull. And she doesn't emote a lot of personality.
No.
And that held true in her performance in The Lion King. The new song she recorded for it
is good. And I like her duet cover with Donald Glover, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? I thought that was good.
Yeah. As a singer, I mean, she's incomparable. But I don't know that I needed her in this role. I didn't need her to be the adult Nala.
No, well, Nala's part isn't very memorable anymore.
No.
That's the other thing about this, like, especially now that everything looks so real, is I kept questioning how those real animals act. Like, female lions are the hunters and like, all the times Mufasa has to save him, like, the mother would be doing those things.
Yeah, that's a good point I didn't think about.
Like, the females get the food, it's very, the Lion King is a heteropatriarchy.
Sure.
And Be Prepared, I thought, was not as good. And as great an actor as Chiwetel Ejiofor is as Scar,
His voice
didn't fit. Like I missed Jeremy Irons as that, like he in the cartoon version, who also
Sure.
sang "Be Prepared," and you had the like Nazi formation of the hyenas. Like that was all kind of missing here for me. But
So I didn't know that, and that song in particular I thought felt flat.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's interesting.
and yet again there was cheering after it, but it was flat.
It's nostalgia. And, you know, if I were a person my age with children, you know, this would definitely be a movie I would take them to. But it just felt small. Like, the scope of the film feels small. Like, they're just in, like, the little area. A lot of close-ups, there aren't a lot of, like, panning shots of the valley.
No, and when you see the pride of all the female lions left behind, it's not very... Like, I remember as a child feeling, there's this large palette, and it's just like, oh, just a handful of these lions.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. So it just feels very small. Like, the animal kingdom feels very small. Like, you could count the number of animals. So I was a little disappointed, but I don't know that that's like, that gets demerits. It's just because I don't have the nostalgia for it and I wasn't familiar with the story. It seemed like a pretty basic story. Obviously, like you're saying, it's a story that's, you know, been told a million times, but a very well done movie. It looks great. I wouldn't call it a beautiful movie.
No, and same
because even like the happier parts, like when Simba finds his new sort of like group, even that area he's in that's supposed to be more lush and vital doesn't feel
like anything.
It just feels like, oh, he's in another part of like he's in a forest.
Yeah, I don't think out of all of the auteur Jon Favreau's films, I don't think I've ever felt in awe of any of the looks, like Iron Man 1 or 2 or Jungle Book even. Chef.
Sure. Blah. It's very well done.
It feels like it's made by a technician.
It's going to make all of the money. Like all of the money.
Yes.
And you know, I don't know, like a lot of these types of films that are remade, I don't know why we needed a cartoon version of the cartoon that, because that's all this is a well done cartoon, or a realistically done cartoon. I feel like it should be called like live animation or something, because it's obviously CGI, even though it's impeccable. This just makes me want to watch the original cartoon.
Well, yeah, and that, you know, where they have more leeway with allowing these animals to convey the human emotion of the voices, which is not here. It's like mouths are moving, but the animal eyes are dead behind the eyes, kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't maybe as distracted by that as you apparently are. I think I'm more distracted by how real they look versus like what's coming out of their mouths. And I know animals don't talk, but because they look so real, it's distracting.
But the emotions that you feel, you know, because all those classic Disney cartoons where the parent dies and, you know, there's all these heart-wrenching moments and they repeat them here, but I don't feel anything.
So how I would interpret what you're speaking about is the idea that there's like a lack of whimsy in it. So like the childlike element of a cartoon is missing. So watching like this lifelike lion fall off the cliff and be stamped.
Oh, and the flashback. I kind of laughed at like
it just seems like, I mean, it doesn't have the same effect because it looks like a real lion that's being trampled by a stampede of whatever those were.
And that zoom on Simba's face screaming now.
Yeah, I think the realistic nature of the CGI, which is very well done, takes away from the drama and the emotion of the story somewhat.
Although Mustafa and Simba, the adult Simba, I kept thinking of Kurt Russell because that mane of hair.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I wrote it down.
Shout out to Gogi Wines.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, it has its moments. It has cute moments, and it looks great. I don't know. I didn't feel enthusiastic about it at all.
Well, that's fine. It's still going to make all the money, and you know, it's a little violent for kids, I think, but you know, what do I know?
The hyenas.
The hyenas were creepy.
Yeah, they were creepy.
Yeah, they're creepy. The mood of the film is much more dark. Like just the lighting and the palettes seem darker to me than what the Disney cartoon, I'm assuming, was. I don't know, but
I don't know. Scar just seems so much more malevolent in the cartoon than it does here. But
I mean, I would imagine that Scar would have been a lot more villain. I won't say villainous. No, that's a word.
well, yeah, it's a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a word.
I feel like he would have seen more. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I feel like he would have seen more villainous in the cartoon. In this one, he just seems like mad
Mangy.
and mangy. Yeah.
No, Jeremy Irons was like fabulous, and he seemed like because he seemed like homosexual, a Scar. But
Anyway, so what would you give this movie?
it does look great, but like 2.5 out of 5.
I feel like I have to give it 3 just because it's well done and it looks great and everyone's going to see it.
Mm.
And the Beyhive's going to kill me for not liking Beyonce's performance, but so yeah, I would give it 3.
It's okay. She's great in Cadillac Records. I'll stand by that.
And the Homecoming live album is amazing.
Yeah, she has her merits.
And she has a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, bye.